Ah, yes, this is a person from earlier. What did they sound like? What did they sound like? What did Fifth Eye sound like? The binder of Tudon arrives. No, that's not him. Oh well, that's what he is. Oh, he's squealing with teenager's timber. The binder of the binder of Tudon arrives. No. The binder of Tudon arrives. Squealing with teenager's timber, the Fifth Eye's voice makes your gums itch and your fingernails feel in need of a trim. And we just finished having a bit of sport with some captives. But worry not, we'll have more fun with another batch momentarily. Dressed in the bronze-red regalia of the Crimson Spears, the Fifth Eye beckons you to stand close, wagging a blood-spattered glove. Crimson Spears. The Crimson Spears are the personal gang of the Voices of Nerat. These top enforcers of the chorus answer only to the Archon of Secrets, and all gang members must follow their orders as if they were the words of the Archon of Secrets himself. In contrast to the poorly equipped mobs they command, the Crimson Spears are armed with fine bronze and rigorous training, and their skills are regularly tested by rivals for their status. In the Scarlet Chorus, even the top gang leaders must be ready to prove their strength, if they wish to lead. Now that you have issued this edict and doomed us all to die, have you come to help us climb out of this hole? Chirps of laughter emanate from under his mask. Not here to follow your order. How has the camp responded to the edict? With mewing, bawling, the occasional orgy, frequent vomitus. Shrill, tittering laughter escapes from under his mask. The bloodlust is there, but so is the fear of failure. Should our glorious horde fail to overrun the citadel, we will surely all perish. I mean, I don't see the disfavored pulling their weight. I trust you are getting your warriors ready for battle, then? We know the Oathbreakers are focused in the citadel beneath the mountain spire, but we have learned this is not their only nest. The Fifth Eye wags a hand in the air, with a high-pitched squeal of displeasure. Given their pattern of attacks, they must have a second group maintaining camp here in the Outer Valley, and unless we deal with this second group, they'll attack from behind the moment we cross the river. You have how large a force, and for all these weeks, you've let the enemy move freely through the valley. I'm hurt. Insult my manners or maturity, but do not insinuate that I sit idle when there's blood to be shed. The Crimson Spear claps his fists together. We have dealt with countless Oathbreakers, but one group remains at large despite our best efforts. Captain Pellox's crew consistently evades or kills our own gangs. You know, the disfavored think you can't control your horde, and that many are defecting back to the Vendrian Guard. Wrong! And perhaps, he gestures with his spear in an arc towards the sprawling camp. It is no mean feat to hurt this many desperate lives. For every 2 hands of humanity, there's at least 1 finger that snaps from the stress of our ways. A few have been lost in the margins, I won't deny that. But if you store grain, expect some rat feces. If you lead killers, expect some desertion. So, you need help taking out these Oathbreakers, then? And while a good old-fashioned slaughter would be an efficient solution, the smarter answer is not to kill them, but to add their strength to ours. My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners, and one of these prisoners claims she can lead us to the Vendrian Guard's secondary camp. Though there are shreds of deception in her voice. I could use your help questioning this Varia Kell. Perhaps you will get less screams and tears and more useful information out of her. If we knew where to ambush the Oathbreakers, we could try and take their captain and show him the wisdom of joining the chorus. You know I don't belong to Archon Nerat. What's my help worth? You wound me, Fatebinder. The Fifth Eye places his hand over his chest, feigning the start of a swoon. And I thought the joy of working for the illustrious Archon of Secrets would be reward enough. But you need to be missing half your head to think an expert works for free. Tell me, what will make this worth your while? An honest wage would suffice. Because a dishonest wage would be unbecoming of Tulnon's law dogs, no? The fifth eye chuckles, his left hand sliding up his right sleeve. He draws forth a small ring purse and drops it in your hand. The chorus is honored to have purchased your aid. Why not just ask the Archon of Secrets? I thought he could interrogate anything. An unintelligible mutter escapes from under the fifth eye's mask as his posture stiffens. And I'm sure you can drink all manner of cider, but that doesn't mean you'll drink every barrel of cider in sight. A boring, insignificant mind is a waste of the Archon's efforts. I've known the Archon to demand personal interrogations, but it's only ever been with leaders, mages, or others of great merit. I've often imagined the interrogation process is not to be taken lightly. Perhaps it's downright exhausting for Nerat. Are a few more conscripts going to change anything at this point? Seems wiser to just kill them. But the Crimson Spear pauses, his body frozen in a shrug. But that is our way. We offer redemption even to those who have harmed us. Besides, I'm not truly interested in any old conscripts, but rather one specific one. Their leader, Captain Palox Florian, is one of the finest warriors the Vendrian Guard have left. It is double the injury to take from our foe while adding to your own clan. I guess I'll speak with the prisoner. I will meet you there. She is waiting by the other prisoners.
I'm on it.
Guess I'll go deal with that now before I forget. Choirman, let the Fatebinder speak with our catch of the day. Very well, Fifth Eye. You may approach the prisoner. The Fifth Eye, commander of the local Scarlet Chorus, surveys his camp, watching in stillness as all manner of violence and revelry occur around him. He offers a slight nod at your approach. Was there anything else? What is your role in the chorus? Well, the whole of the chorus remains loyal to the voices of Nerat. I am truly the most loyal. His voice becomes wistful. Oh, so loyal of his numerous warriors. He's a Crimson Spear, part of the Archon's inner circle. Dozens of the strongest gang bosses answer to him, and from there the orders trickle down to the rest of the army. I am the Archon's martial retainer and humble servant. I am his eyes and his ears, but also his mouth, for I speak with his authority when he is absent. He twirls his flanged spear in his hand. And I am his killing edge when the rabble is moved to war. Are all of the Crimson Spears as odd as you? I would not ask you to speak of the other Fatebinders. I will not speak of the other Crimson Spears. He's odd as fuck because he's an eye, not because he's a Crimson Spear. The Spears are a cold, determined bunch. Eyes are a breed apart, owning a fraction of the Archon of Secret's madness. Did you ask for this honor? I did not have to. The voices of Nerat saw the need inside of me, and through his arcane ministrations, burnt away the clinging, cloying parts of me that foolishly resisted his enlightenment. Disgusting as I may find this creature, the Fifth Eye is not the only one who has suffered changes in the service of this war. No, indeed, you ironclad behemoth. He looks Barak up and down with interest. Have you ever considered jumping ship and enlisting with the chorus? With strength like yours, we could have you leading a decorated gang in your first week. If I ever jumped ship, it would only be to sink to the bottom of the waves, beyond the reach of you and your parasite of an Archon. When did you take the vows of the chorus, Fifth Eye? Unlike most of the conscripts here, I did not need a cudgel against the head to see the wisdom of the Archon of Secrets. I proudly joined the course in its nascent days, left my home in Bastard City to join with the incoming course, and the rest is glory and history. These days, you follow the course or die. We who chose the path and killed to defend our place are the old guard. Even if it's been 2 or 3 years, the course has a short memory. She nods to the fifth eye with grudging respect. And who's the strongest in your camp? I am, naturally. Well, the Archon is, without question, the mightiest in camp. Deathnell is the master trainer here, and she's almost tough enough to take me. She's a biter. Don't tell her I told you that. But she can be trusted to fight and lead. And while her humility is lacking, Verse is correct. She's been running with the Furies even longer than Deathnell. Too bad that skill in puissance did nothing to save her sisters. Sounds like you're insulting my friend here. Did I detect a hint of fighting words in your voice? Then I must have spoken in error. I meant no offense. I wished only to convey that Verse is a true survivor, an embodiment of the kind of grit the chorus reveres. So kind of you to step in to protect my honor that way, because I'm clearly incapable of speaking for myself. Okay. What can you tell me about the Ascension Hall? At the center of Vendrian's Well, at the base of the mountain spire, he points to the northeast where the spire cuts a vertical line rising above all other mountains on the horizon, is a small fortification. Ascension Hall is the name of this citadel's inner council chamber. We had left a garrison when this valley was first taken in 429, with the citadel being their base of operations. When the Oathbreakers staged their revolt, the garrison at Ascension Hall was defeated. Makes sense that Kairos' edict would demand that we burn this rebellion back to its point of origin. And what do you know of the disfavored commander? Iron Marshal Irenios is a doting warrior, just like the Archon of War. She's one of a few select disfavored, cautious and cowardly enough to be trusted with the Archon's iron toddlers. No doubt her primary qualifications include being related to Ash, the Legion's little big into its pedigree, if you catch my drift. Keep insulting my commander and I'll slap that mask off your face. Not that I'm eager to see what's inside. Your mutual disrespect will be our unmaking. Do I need to discipline you both? No, not this time, perhaps. I will respectfully save your censure for when I need to act in a more despicable manner. That day is no doubt nigh. We are not children to be corrected and set in line. I have long distrusted the court for treating us as such, but I won't challenge you at this juncture. He nods to Fifth Eye. Say your piece about the Iron Marshal, then. Though I am loath to speak highly of her, I cannot deny she is a brilliant swordsman, and the other disfavored seem to take her seriously, despite the serious stick that's propped up her backside. Is there a reliable quartermaster or peddler in camp? Talk to Stigler Dagos. He's wise enough not to steal from you. He'll only cheat you a little bit. He's right over there. He points nearby to the east. But he has the important honor of trying to arm, all of my merry little conscripts, so don't expect Kairos' armory or anything. Farewell. Save. Lantry. Lantry has a portrait. Please, someone! I wish to bow before the voices of Narat. I thought all could find redemption in the chorus. A woman in the makeshift armor of the Vendrian Guard lurches forward in agony. Her soiled, trembling legs suggest she has been forced to stand for days. This one, he flippantly waves at the prisoner, was hollering earlier that she knows the location of the Vendrian Guard encampment. But she isn't being entirely honest. I told this thing, the prisoner turns pale a moment before a look of determination comes over her face, that I wanted to guarantee I'd live and be welcomed to the course as a captain. Then I'll talk. Otherwise, they'll just kill me once I've opened up. I was dumb enough to join the Vendrian Guard, but I'm not dumb enough to give away my bargaining bronze. Why should I trust the words of an oathbreaker? I suppose I have no answer to that. Mariah's eyes fall to the ground and she swallows nervously. When I joined with the Vendrian Guard, I accepted their broken vow unto myself. Have you not felt passion for a foolish cause, one you later came to regret? Oh, my surrender is sincere, and I'm willing to bow before the voices of Narat to prove it. You claim you would have disavow your people for the Scarlet Course. Why the change of heart? Because I want to live, and you don't need to be the Archon of Premonitions to know that the younger realms are gone for good. She blinks several times, catching her breath. Kairos is the new strength of the tears, and I would rather stand with his Archons than be crushed by them. Tell me what you know, and I can be sure to see to your release. I heard the Chorus is looking for Captain Pelox Florian and his crew. I could lead you to them, but only if you release me. She turns her head, taking a long look at skewered and smoldering corpses around her. She tugs at her restraints, but to no avail. You're lying. Why don't you tell me what you actually know, and then I'll see about saving you. Well, you see, shaken by your demand, her lips move wordlessly for several seconds. So I don't know exactly where the rest of my crew is, but I can tell you. She shakes her head, catching her breath. Search that one. She reaches up with her right leg and points with her foot, calling attention to a nearby pile of corpses. The tall dark one is missing most of his face. Check his left boot. He was the literate one in our crew. He had the orders. Fifth eye. With a snap of his fingers, a pair of choirmen yank the boot off the fallen guardsman. A rolled parchment slides out of the boot and is thrust into the fifth eye's hands. He unfurls the scroll to give it a read. It's nonsense. Just a mash of words. He had a high-pitched voice. It's nonsense. Just a mash of words. Laughter erupts from under the mask. She said she had information. She gives us garbage. Slay this wretch for wasting our time. He snaps his fingers at a nearby Scarlet Fury, who promptly snatches a long knife from her belt. I heard her say she'd swear fealty to the voices of Narat. An initiation rite would be in order, don't you think? Seeing as you're an expert on the subject of fate, I will entertain your wisdom on the matter. What then would you propose we do with her? Nope. Let's test her loyalty. Variah, kill these guardsmen with something blunt. Variah looks at the prisoners, once her allies, and closes her eyes as her bonds are untied. The onlookers snicker and cheer when a heavy rock is placed in her hand. Mouthing something inaudible, she lifts the rock high above her head and smashes it down on the prisoner's skull. Wincing back a scream as she hoists the stone over her head a second time to finish the job on the other prisoner. The bloody rock hits the ground and Variah slumps to her knees in defeat a moment later. Definitely harsher decisions in this game than Pillars of Eternity 2. Harsher options. Here's why I thought Velian/Ilmern would be a good character to play for it. Good, good. Fifth Eye places his bloodied hand on the trembling woman's shoulders and nods to her. Welcome to the Scarlet Course. Do not fail us. As a pair of soldiers come to lift Variah, the Fifth Eye turns to you, his voice filled with glee. Where's a slave to clean up the offal when you need it? We're no closer to finding the Oathbreaker's position. Not with this cryptic mess. She promised us answers and all she gave us was gibberish. Have you considered it's a cipher?
Sorry to interrupt, but I highly doubt it's gibberish. More likely, it's one of the local scripts.
Who the heck are you? The voice comes from another prisoner tied up next to Variah, an older gentleman with the quills, ink, vials, and parchment scrolls one finds on the sages of the School of Ink and Quill. Ink smudges cover his cheeks, temples, and ears. His clothes appear charred, and between the rips of the fabric you spot burn scars along his arms. Despite being emaciated and tied to a post, he offers a beaming smile. Who are you?
I'm Sage Lantry, one of the hired quills that was coordinating missives between the Vendrian Guard captains. They aren't paying me anymore and aren't coming to my rescue. So I'll decipher that parchment for you. That's what smart prisoners do, right? Make themselves useful?
Hired quills. Running a household or army requires a great deal of logistical know-how, and it helps to be literate and capable of maintaining your own records and ledgers. Most leaders employ assistants, known as hired quills, to log harvests, schedule payments, balance payrolls, and dictate letters to friends and rivals. I'm going to read the parchment for myself. I'm going to fail. You unroll the parchment and see a message of modest length written with professional, albeit hasty penmanship. The Tearsmen speak the Canto just like the Northerners, but they have a half-dozen different ways of writing it. This particular script is unknown to you. I'll show him the parchment. Can you read this then?
Well, let me see. I can't.
You hold the parchment in front of the bound sage, and his eyes dart down the length of the missive. He reads the words a second time, nodding in silence.
I don't know exactly what it says, but I'm half certain that's Sage Selwyn's handwriting. I'm sure I could decipher that in a few hours' time. Don't need my hands free, but I think better when not tied to a post. I know, I'm weird that way.
You're practically a freak. A few hours? Either you can read it or you cannot. What use is a sage that doesn't know his letters? I've heard all I need to hear. I say we have some fun with this one. Your life depends on you translating this scroll now.
I would love to help. I just need some time. That's written in another sage's shorthand. I'd have to sit down with it, or better yet, compare it to a piece of his writing I have stashed on me somewhere. If I sat down with it while sufficiently sober, it's highly probable I'd figure it out.
Sober? Since when do we share the good stuff with the prisoners?
Oh, nobody shared. Right before I was taken prisoner, I imbibed several vials of reagents. I wanted to be numb and disconnected when my captors used me for carnal catharsis. It's made these last few days tied to a post almost enjoyable.
I guess it can't hurt to give him a few hours. You read the edict. I don't need to tell you the sundial is working against us. This addled old bag is just trying to stall us. Untie him. Give him a chance to translate. Are you giving me orders, Binder? Does this look like Tudon's court? Last I checked, only the Archon of Secrets can tell me what to do with a prisoner. The Crimson Spear pounds his staff to the ground. If this old man wants freedom, we shall give him his fair shot at a trial.
Fatebinder, I beseech you, be my advocate for this trial. I'm no fool. I know the chorus uses blood, not words, to settle these matters. But you are a servant of the Archon of Justice, are you not?
Release this prisoner at once. I'm taking him into my custody. Not a chance. He's our prisoner. If you think you can crack the information we need out of his skull without troubling the Archon, that's one thing. But you're not walking out of here with our property. Grab him by the mask. Did you just tell me no? Gah! The chorus warrior emits a whimpering squeal as you grab him by the chin of his mask and pull him close. Gloved hands press against you, but try as he might, his push cannot exceed your pull. Very brave of you to insult me to my face. Let's have your little trial. Did you hear that, brothers and sisters? Raising his arms to the sky, the fifth eye roars for all nearby to hear. Trial by combat is upon us! The sage is unbound from the post. Stiff legs nearly buckle as he attempts to walk, and his arms flex and flail in their new freedom. Wiping sweat and grime from his brow, the sage steps close to you with a nervous smile. Rhythmic roaring and the stomping of hundreds of feet in unison flood the camp. Horsemen begin to circle and swirl about, brandishing weapons and cheering. If they got this worked up to fight the enemy, I bet you the war would be over by now. Begin the chant of gathering. Let the warriors know that tonight's entertainment will soon commence. Brothers and sisters, who amongst you sets the standards for strength? Who amongst you will help widow the weak from the strong? The fifth eye waves his hands in the air, drawing in a gathering of chorus soldiers. Our claimants have been assembled. Now let the trial of the Oathbreaker begin!
Enough.
Okay. Fire strike. Wait. Okay. What do I got? Iron tolling. Barrack and the Fatebinder both bang on their shields and armor, harassing an enemy. The target is compelled to attack Barrack for a short time, while the Fatebinder's mocking gestures leave the enemy confused and off guard. The foe loses all ability to parry and dodge until they recover their senses. Fury's Rage. Projects flames towards Verts, which she catches their blades, spins to an aura of wreathing flames around her. Nearby foes take burn damage from the flames while they last. Sure, let's do that. Okay, level up. Lantry? Ooh, I can. Oh yeah, it's 3 trees? Okay, Quill. Lantry throws a well. Oh, this is gonna take a while. I'm not gonna level him up right now. So you got Titan's Touch. Fill the target with a surge of greatness, granting them a bonus to might and vitality. Restoring Touch. Channel healing energy into the target, restoring health instantly. Renewal. Already activated. Lantry restores the party's weapons and armor to pristine condition, increasing damage from weapons and protection from the armor. Plus 0.5 armor per piece of armor worn for 60 seconds. And plus 1 armor penetrated by attacks. What's this? Quicken. Participant busy. Velian and Lantry. Once per encounter, Lantry quickly heals the Fatebinder with a surge of restorative energy. The burst of energy is so invigorating, the Fatebinders also hasten for a lasting duration. Quill Strike. Cooldown 20 seconds, 8 to 9 pierce, accuracy plus 20. Clash of Iron. Foe AoE versus Will. Oh, you should get in. Go here. That you can tank for us. Let's give Barrack a buff. Barrack, that's not where I told you to go. There we go. Now use your taunt ability. Right here. Velian. Let's thrust against this guy who's in the middle, so we should be able to focus him down with both of our characters. Yeah. And what do we got here? Restoring Touch. Is anybody really hurt? Not really. Quicken. Don't need to heal a Fatebinder. Renewal. Okay. Iron Tolling. Barrack and the Fatebinder both bang their shield right. Striking Iron. Plus 200% damage if engaged by target enemy. So we'll... Nope. And thrust. I will... Oh, she went after Lantry. Lantry, heal thyself. Oh, Lantry got beat up pretty quick. What's this? Death from above. Launch versus the air, allowing her to unleash a series of well-aimed arrows into the target from above. Each of these arrows strikes true and has armor penetration. Let's try to help out Lantry. With Lantry you can do renewal. No, not. Wait. Yeah. Renewal.
Ready?
Ilm, you might want to use your tank ability. Thrust this guy. Did Lantry go down? Lantry went almost about to go down. Might as well heal the Fate Binder if I can.
It's blood.
Lantry went down. Bleed him. And what else can we do? Death from above.
Let's do it, you and me.
Oh, wow. Verse went down all of a sudden. By the righteous shedding of blood, we have found our answer. Regrettably, it appears the sage is worthy of leaving our camp alive. The fifth eye offers a short, mocking bow to Lantry. By the customs set forth by the voices of Narat, you are free to go, old man. Brag to your grandkids that you fell afoul of the course, yet lived to tell the story. That was fun. Your warriors almost put up a good fight. It really is a bloodletting weather, is it not? My conscripts need to see more warriors of your skill in action. I thank you for the lesson you have given the camp. Oh, what was his voice like? I thought die tied to that post. That's not right. The sage looks down at his rope-worn wrists in disbelief. Now hand me that parchment. I'm certain I can decipher it. No, I want the dialogues to be over. I need to end the stream, damn it. Well, much of the parchment was weathered, but I could make out the important parts of the text. The notes make mention of a meeting spot west of Tripnettle. So, the old sage knows his words after all. I'd ask that you travel ahead and see if you can't get this Captain Florian to yield to the course. They will strike at first sight of a course, gang, but perhaps they will parley if yours is the face they see. I know the area, and I suggest we go at once. I'll show you the way. I'm eager to be far from the stench of this camp. Something's amiss. There's a lot of fight in you for an old scholar. Now you're offering to join this expedition? I've met sages every bit as cutthroat as hardened gang bosses. They act the part of doddering scribes, but don't let that fool you. Smart for someone your age to be so mistrusting, but I'm not with the Oathbreakers if that's what you're fishing at. I worked for them under duress, but I've no love for them. I'm not about to pledge to the course, and the disfavored wouldn't have me. Still, I consider myself a Kairos-fearing vassal of the Overlord's empire all the same. For as long as I've been a sage, I've been trained to defend myself. We don't spend all our time binding books and sketching wildlife, just most of it. For centuries we've been in quiet war with the School of Tides and the School of Wild Wrath. You can't travel alone as much as I do and not know the Bronze Dance. And your little quill dagger, just for decoration? Well, I mean, sages always need to have a quill handy, so it just sort of blends into the ensemble on a casual glance. And the customary term is bladed remix. But who's keeping track? Swear fealty to me, and I will let you leave this place with me. If that is your price, I will pay it. I, Sage Lantry of the School of Ink and Quill, do pledge my services and Skine to the Fate Binder, and by extension to the Court of Tunon. He tips into a steep bow before rising with a solemn smile. I know I may seem old and frail, but I know how to step lightly and how not to get killed. Really, I won't slow you down. Lead the way and let me know if I can be of service. Are we done here? Let's hightail it to Trip Nettle. If your new pet doesn't behave himself along the way, I'm not above clipping his ears. I did it. I finished the dialogues. So, I'm saving. I'm done the stream for today. I might come back later tonight to do some Pillars of Eternity 2. But, anyway, thanks for watching. Have yourselves a good day. I don't know what else to say. Ta-ta.